Good morning. Welcome to Reading the Science of Mind in 1 Year. I'm Reverend Rafe, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader at the Center for Spiritual Living Common Ground in Central Maryland. Today is June 20th. I want to apologize for the prayer portion of our live stream yesterday. Had a microphone failure that I was not aware of. And so the prayer part of it was inaudible to you, the audience. Good news is prayer is not bound by time, space, or technology. So just know that prayer happened and it's an always yes. So there's that. All right. So let's get started with our reading. Here we go. Reading for June 20th Science of Mind, A Philosophy, a Faith, a Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 466, paragraph 2, through page 467, paragraph 3, using inclusive language. And the parents saw them afar off. And they arose and came to their parent. But when they were yet a great way off, their parents saw them and had compassion, and ran and fell on their neck and kissed them. This is the most perfect lesson ever taught by the great teacher. When they were yet a great way off, their parents saw them and ran and fell on their neck and kissed them. This means that Source turns to us as we turn to it. A more beautiful thought could not be given than this. There is always a reciprocal action between the universal and the individual mind. As we look at the divine looks at us. Is it not true that when we look at God, God is looking through us at itself? Spirit comes to us as we come to it. It is done unto us as we believe. Act as though I am, and I will be. Consciousness does not condemn. And the child said unto them, Parent, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I am no more worthy to be called thy child. But the parent said to their servants, Bring forth the best robe, and put it on them, and put a ring on their hand, and shoes on their feet. And bring hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my child was dead, and is alive again. They were lost, and are found. And they began to be merry. The great lesson to learn here is that consciousness never reproaches and never condemns. Spirit did not say to the returning child, You miserable sinner, you are no more worthy to be called my child. It did not say, I will see what I can do about saving your lost soul. I will spill the blood of my most precious child in hopes that by this atonement your life might be made eternal. It did not say, You are a worm of the dust, and I will grind you under my feet in order that you may know that I am the one and the supreme power of the universe. No, God did not say any of these atrocious things. What the Source did say was, Bring forth quickly the best robe and put it on them, and put a ring on their hand and shoes on their feet. Here Jesus is showing that God is love and knows nothing about hate. God knows no sin. Perhaps the most significant thing in this paragraph is the fact that God did not answer its child when they talked about being a sinner. The divine talked about something else. This is one of the most wonderful lessons in the whole story. God does not know evil and therefore cannot talk about or conceive it in any form. God does not even hear us, could not hear us, when we talk about sin or evil. If it could hear it, it would be conscious of it. And if it could be conscious of it, it would not be wholly good. If God could know evil, then evil would be an eternal reality. But God is sinless and perfect, and nothing can reflect itself in the divine save a perfect image. If God could know sin, it would be a sinner. It is enough to know that this cannot be. The best robe. Now, the best robe was a seamless garment and typifies a state of complete unity, as does the ring. The robe is seamless, and the ring is without beginning or end. It begins everywhere and ends nowhere. It is like eternity in eternal reality. It perfectly describes the divine nature. The fatted calf represents the abundance of God's love and providence. Hmm. I love the story, the allegory, the teaching of the prodigal son. Um, and yes, I changed that to general neutral terms, even referring to the father as the parent, because it's not always the father. Um, and who decided the creation was solely male? Right? Um, so I endeavor when I read these things to really open them up a bit more. But the parts that really stand out to me is that the father didn't even respond when the son came back. If you know the biblical story, when the son came back, he's literally groveling. You know, I did all this, I made all these mistakes, I'm not worthy to be your servant. And the response was, we're throwing a party. It was as if they didn't even hear all of the negative things. And I love this explanation in the paragraph, God knows no sin, where Holmes explains that if God could know it, then sin would be eternal. Um, it, it taxes our brain, I think, to follow the logic sometimes. But if you read this with your heart, I think you'll find that it's absolutely spot on. That, all of these things, that God, love, creator, creation, the great mystery, whatever we're calling it, right, never reproaches and never condemns. And more than that, it doesn't even see the mistake. It just sees its creation, right? Um, I think it speaks to that where perhaps the most significant thing in this paragraph is the fact that God did not answer its son, its child, when it talked about being a sinner. The father talked about something else. Just change the subject, right? This is one of the most powerful lessons in the whole story. God does not know evil and therefore cannot talk about or conceive it in any form. God just loves us because it loves itself. Um, and earlier in the reading, as we look at God, God looks at us. Is it not true that when we look at God, God is looking through us itself. We are that substance in form, right? So there's never a disconnect except that our thinking makes it so. And so we get to heal that divide just as quickly as we create it. Uh, yeah, we are never separate from the substance of our being. We are this infinite one expressing in the multiplicity of form, the visible and the invisible. It's who and what we are. And I am thrilled to know that. I feel it in my cells. So whenever we're coming to grips with our mistakes, simply admitting that we made the mistake is sufficient. And then what will we do instead? Stop, drop, pray, reframe, choose again. It's really that simple, beloveds. Oh. So, with that, I'm going to take us into our time of meditation and contemplation. Go. And so in this centered place of one, I recognize the allness of life, the wholeness of one whole, complete, and perfect substance that is infinite possibility continuously expressing itself in form as creation, expressing itself as the seen and the unseen, as the visible and the invisible, as the known and the unknown, yet to be known, and yet known within its creation. I celebrate this substance as the singular substance of all life, nameless, changeless, limitless. Nameless because every name is a limited concept of it. And while we refer to it by many names, it can never be diminished or contained by one label, by one idea. And so it is each of these names, all of these names, and so much more. In this day, I recognize it as life, as that givingness of the self to the self that I also call love. One power everywhere present, expressing itself in multiplicity, yet never separate from itself, never used up one iota, no matter how many forms it expresses in. It's never used up or depleted, but rather expanded by the individualized expressions of itself. And I am that in form. The pattern, the blueprint of a desire for creation to experience itself. It's the blueprint of me. And yet I am infused, empowered by choice. So that I am a portal of divine expression. I am a place where the infinite expands its experience of itself. Every time I use my power of choice to express a desire within me, which is a desire of the infinite within me to express itself, to the expansion of one thing. And what is true of me is true of all creation. And so I claim and affirm that we are each in our individualized journeys coming into an undeniable, unshakable awareness that we are the infinite in form, that it looks through us at it to itself, and that within us is the capacity, the power, the desire to look so deeply inward that all we see is God, life, love. That we first turn within beyond our own behavior. We turn away from condition to the source and substance of our being. that we own that we cherish it, that we go to it until we live in connection with it. That we empower our lives with spiritual practice that becomes our way of being, our way of living. And as we do, we are healed. And as we are healed, the whole of creation is healed. Because in the wholeness of one, what heals in one place must heal simultaneously every place. To know the truth is to live the truth, is to be the truth. So I allow the peace of that to come from the inside out as a geyser and a waterfall washing over me, reminding me that the nature of my being is wholeness, perfection, and that I am complete. Always have been, always will be. Freeing me to simply express without seeking approval, to understand at that deep level that the soul is the activity of law within me, manifesting the desires of creation to express. And I celebrate, filled with joy. I celebrate, and I give thanks for this aspect of the creative process, the effect of law that responds lawfully, predictably, certainly to every desire to express with that divine holy yes, and makes it so. Puts together all of the earthly pieces to make it so. And so now my job, my joy, becomes to release, to let go, to scan one last time for any remnants, threads of fear, resistance, and let them go. Standing wholly, completely in the faith that it is done. I let go. No need to control. I let go. No need to push. I let go. No need to pressure. I let go. No fear to be had. I let go. I let go. I let go. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you.